Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2019. I hope 2019 has been going awesome for you. I am so excited. This is the first video of 2019, and I'm excited. Um, and today, I just want to talk about having a new attitude. It's a new year. Let's bring in a new attitude for the year for relationships. Basically, what I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of women have just decided to play the victim in relationships. And in this video, I just want to talk to you guys about the fact that you actually have a voice, you have a choice, and you can be your own person when it comes to being in relationships. Because I come across so many women that are in relationships and they act like they're a victim of the relationship. They act like they are the victim, but you are not a victim. You cannot be a victim when you are in a situation that you made a choice to be in and you continue to allow someone to treat you the way that they treat you. Because a lot of women are stuck in relationships where they feel maybe they're being abused emotionally, mainly emotionally. I'm talking about relationships where you're with someone who's continuously cheating, in relationships where someone is just mistreating you, you're not happy, those kind of relationships. And as women, I mean, we have a gift, and it's a great gift. God has blessed us with a gift of endurance. And unfortunately, this gift can also be a burden because we tend to stay in relationships way past the time that we should have gotten out, because we have this gift, this amazing gift, to be able to adapt to a bad situation and to be able to just tell ourselves that it's okay, I'll make it work, I'll pray about it, God will make a way, God brought this guy into my life, so God is going to make a way. Like, no to all of that. You as a woman need to take your responsibility in the relationship. A lot of women like to act like the relationship just happened to them. But newsflash, a relationship just doesn't happen to you. You always have a choice. You have a choice whether or not you want to get into a relationship with someone, and you have a choice whether or not you want to stay in the relationship with someone. It's up to you. I mentioned before this thing of women saying, "Oh, I told him that if he doesn't love me, he must let me go." Like, you're not in jail. You are a participating member of the relationship, and you need to take control and be able to make a decision to stay or to leave. And whatever decision you make, you must be willing to take on the responsibility of saying, okay, I have decided to stay in this situation, and therefore it is my fault why all of these things are happening. And I'm not talking about like other complicated situations where we're talking about like physical abuse and stuff like that, because that's a whole different thing altogether. We're talking about, being in a relationship with a serial cheater, being in a relationship with someone that disrespects you all the time, being in a relationship with someone that doesn't love you, someone who doesn't appreciate you, someone who's continuously belittling you, and being in a relationship where you're not happy and someone just doesn't love you, they're just tolerating you, and because you love them so much you're gonna stay, like stuff like that. Like, guys, it's 2019. Can that stuff stay back in 2018? You are an adult, you can make your own choices, you can make your own decisions. If a lot of times what happens with us as women is that we tend to go by our feelings. This guy just sweeps you off your feet, and before you know it, you're in a relationship. 2019, let's not do that anymore. You cannot just be a passenger that's been carried into a relationship. It has to be a decision, it has to be a choice. You have to sit down, pray about it, go through everything with God, go through your negotiables and non-negotiables, and make a conscious decision. Take responsibility for your part when it comes to getting into a relationship. A lot of us women, we're still acting like we're high school kids. We just let this guy sweep us off our feet. He takes us wherever he wants to take us. He takes us into the relationship, whichever direction he wants to take the relationship in. And we're just sailing and we're just going. We just, and before we know it, we're wifey and that's it. But it's not like that. You need to be an active member, participant of your relationship. You cannot just sit there and be passive in a relationship and just stay there and not be happy. You cannot do that. If a guy is mistreating you, if a guy is abusing you, if a guy is just not treating you right, if you're not happy, if you're crying every other day, if you're crying every other month, like, you need to make a decision. Do not wait for the person you're in a relationship with to make the decision for you. You have to be able to make a decision, a conscious decision to say, I do not want to be in this relationship anymore, or make a conscious decision to say, okay, I'm going to stay in this relationship, but I must know that whatever comes after this, I cannot complain. It's my fault. I have decided to stay in the relationship. Because a lot of times these are the same women that spend hours and hours just sitting, talking about how bad marriage is, how bad men are. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you still have a choice to leave the relationship. You have a choice to not get into a relationship with someone like that. Like, you have the choice. You cannot sit there and start bad mouthing men, start bad mouthing marriages as if you were never a participant of the decision to get into the relationship, as if you were never a participant of the decision to get into the relationship, to get into a relationship with a certain guy. If your guy is a jerk, like, you can't be sitting there moaning about how men are bad and how marriage is bad when you made the choice to get into a relationship with a guy who's a jerk, and worse still, you have made a decision to stay in the relationship with a guy who is useless and is a jerk. So you need to take responsibility for your non-choice choices. And by non-choice choices, I mean, by you not making a choice, you make a choice. So by you deciding to just stay in the relationship, or you deciding to just be swept off your feet and just go, wherever the relationship goes, wherever the wind blows you, the wind of love, whichever direction it takes you, by you not making a conscious decision about that relationship and just allowing someone to come in and sweep you off your feet and do whatever he wants you to do or whatever he feels the relationship should be about. You have made a choice. So your decision to not make a decision is actually making a decision. So you cannot sit there and start blaming everything and everyone around you for a relationship that you are in, because, believe it or not, you had a choice as to whether or not you could put the brakes on this relationship. You had a choice, and you still have a choice as to whether or not you choose to stay in a relationship. So do not sit there and throw a pity party for yourself because you're in a bad relationship. Do not sit there and start pointing fingers at the guy that you're in a relationship with, to want to point fingers at God for putting you in the relationship, and yet you're not pointing the most fingers at yourself. You are responsible for the relationship that you're in right now, because you had a choice and you still have a choice as to whether or not you stay. So that's my topic for today. I'm excited for the rest of the topics that are going to come up for the rest of the year. Guys, let's just get into this new year, new attitude. Let's do things differently. Let's take control and responsibility for the decision to get into a relationship and to stay in a relationship. So that's all I have for today's video. Until next week.